So you guys know and are aware, you guys are high schoolers again. This is really one that's suitable for 9 through 12. I was looking at it, potentially even 8th grade, though it's going to be suited towards the actual goals of the 11, 12. So, could I get you guys to write on your little notepads right here? Bellword question, right at the beginning of class. I'll go through it with you. What does it mean to direct actors' movement on stage? Do you think this is different than TV? Do you think there are similarities to choreographing and dance? Alright, try to come to an end of a thought, guys. Alright, Dinah, I'm erasing it.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, so at the end of the last class, we had started to talk about different parts of the stage. So stage directions and such. So right here, here's the backstage and here's the audience. And we have the center stage. So the part of the stage closest to the audience, if you guys can remember.
Down center.
Yep. Alright, which makes this up center. Now the confusing part comes with stage left and stage right. So, is the stage left, stage right for the actor or the audience?
Actor.
Okay, so it's a little bit awkward when you're the audience member looking up this way. So this is actually stage left and stage right. And then of course, upstage left, upstage right. So, what happens if we have a stage in the center of a bunch of audience members? This kind of changes the dynamics of it.
Theater in the round.
Yes, theater in the round. This is very typical of a thrust stage or a proscenium stage. When you end up with a black box, you can end up with just about anything. It's theater in the round. So, does anybody have a solution how you think you could deal with this?
Could do like north, south, east, west.
Okay, that's one way. Another way I've seen it done is you just do sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you have a piece of furniture, say you have a couch here, you could say, okay, left of the couch, right of the couch. The movements really come down to what you're willing to write in your script. But this is about directing. So, today, you guys can see our little figurines here. We're going to talk about the actual art of directing the action beforehand. And so typically I would use Army Men, and I would attach a little piece of paper with the person's name on it, or the character's name. I don't have enough Army Men. My fiance's daughter has destroyed them. But what I do have are little dinosaurs. Now in addition to the dinosaurs, another thing you could use would be Aladdin and Jafar here. You can use figurines that are representative of, say, their character type. Obviously, evil and good. So, I'm going to hand you guys out each a sheet here. This is a ground plan. And the reason it says not to scale is because whenever you have a ground plan, the idea is that it's in scale. Now let's talk about vocabulary. I want you guys to understand a few words before we get into this. So we have, let's do this over here. We have picturization. Shape. And a perspective sketch. deal with directing? Can anybody take a gander at what picturization means?
Well, you used the term stage picture once in class. Is it to make the stage picture? That's the
Exactly. It's about making the picture, the art of making the picture. The idea of theater when a director is going through it and reading the script, typically they see picture and then another picture. So the idea of the movement is to get the actors from one picture to the next picture. So picturization is the idea of the pictures you come up with. Now shape. Shape has to do with shapes on stage. So we end up with our ground plan, like what you guys have in front of you. You're in a couch. So, let's say you have an actor right here, talking to an actor right here. You want to make sure that they're cheating out so that they can be seen by the audience. Now the problem might be, if you have an actor back here, can this one talk directly to him? You've got to find ways to remedy this. And that might be as simple as moving this actor over here so it looks a little more natural. Triangles are used a lot on stage because triangles have a certain level of symmetry to them. They look pretty. They help with the picture you're trying to make. Now other shapes, like a circle, movement. So, what's the point of a triangle on stage, Dinah?
So that you can be able to talk to someone on the other side of the stage without it looking like you're not actually talking to them.
Okay.
So the audience can still hear you.
Exactly. And Kevin, what'd you get out of the circle?
That it's that it shows the motion of the actors to use the space on stage.
Somewhat. It is about the motion, but it's also about natural motion. If you have an actor go, that looks unnatural. Now there's a time and a place for that. Let's say you're a robot in a show. You might move in lines like that, but typically we move in natural ways. All right, and then we have a perspective sketch. So I'm going to leave this box up right here. So let's say I give you guys each a sheet like this. This is from Jack and the Beanstalk. And essentially you have half the page is blank and half the page with writing. Blah, 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 to Jack and the Beanstalk. Now over here, you would draw boxes. So can I get you guys to draw 2 boxes on that side of the sheet real quick? They don't have to be perfect. These are perspective sketches. So the idea is that I'm going to pick up movements from the script, and I'm going to go, oh, okay. And so over here you have little miniature ground plans. And you're going to have people moving, and you usually have 2 to 3 per page, and you draw the movement on the side so you can go back to it later. Now this movement right here, is part of the way you know how you use the stage. Are you using the design that the designer gave you well? So in the end, we come to our special vocab word, master movement plan. Now this is what you would do after you do all your blocking. So you have your ground plan again, with your couch and your coffee table. Now here, you would take all the blocking you did, and you would draw it all down, no matter how much it overlaps and such. Now the idea would be to find out what parts of the stage you don't use, so you can somehow work those in. Like right over here, we're not using that part, and we're not using this part. Now this is a shame, because stage right, down stage right, is the strongest place on stage. Part of that is because of the way we read. Over in Eastern countries, you'll find that because they read right to left, opposed to left to right, downstage left is actually the strongest place for them. guys are. And bring some dinosaurs. Can I get you to get your water bottle off the table? Thank you. All right. So what I started to do was I started to do a perspective sketch. So you guys can follow along with me a little bit. Jack's mother breaking down, "Oh Jack, I'm a poor substitute for your father." I had previously read through this already. I'm not going to make you guys read through this one. You guys are going to be reading through the next one I give you to work on your own. So I see, okay, "Oh Jack, I'm a poor substitute for your mother." And it's a moment when she's breaking down. So I'm going to have her over here, and she's going to be the Stegosaurus. And on that line, "Oh, I'm breaking down," she's going to go sit down on the couch. Now Jack starts off the scene, and I'm going to have him downstage right, because that is the strongest part on stage. And as his mother breaks down, he's going to come over here to comfort her. But he's going to go upstage of her and be behind her so he can pat on her. We don't like straight lines on stage either. This is boring. Two people sitting on a couch together. But this is an interesting stage picture. All right. So, I'm going to give you guys a scene from Cinderella. What I would like you guys to do is to quickly read through it, and then use some dinosaurs. I'm going to let you guys pick. There are 3 characters in this one. I particularly would like you guys to look at the bottom part of this scene, and then the part where the jester and the knight are wrestling. Because I want to see what you guys can come up for movement. And don't feel like this has to be perfect this time. We're exploring right now, we're playing. That's why I gave you guys dinosaurs. And after you guys have read through, don't forget to draw your perspective sketch boxes. Because what I'm going to have you do after you kind of play with the dinosaurs a little bit is draw down how you think the movement would be, and then show me. The perspective sketches are going to allow you to show me what movements you'd already picked up on, so you don't forget them.
Maybe we design our own set.
I would like you guys to use that one because I specifically gave you some objects to have to block around. Most of the time as a director, you won't be getting to pick your set. That's part of the collaborative art of theater. So put your director hats on. And if your dinosaurs start to get a little bit confusing, maybe pick ones that look a little bit different. I know you have 2 green ones right there, Dinah.
Is your last name Swar?
No.
Oh.
I think, Kevin, it might be easier to use the big one because the dinosaurs are a little bit more to the size on that one. And then you can copy it over to your perspective sketches. And also, feel free to put marks in the actual text and draw arrows to where the movement is on this. That'll help you further when you want to show it later. But it's all about what works for you. said class can't be fun? All right, it looks like most of you guys have at least one perspective box going. In a longer class, what we would do is we would actually go through all of these. But I'd like to see what you guys have come up with so far. So Kevin, if you're willing to go first.
Okay. I started where the prince at the bottom is jumping into a tense crouching position, and I figured I would have kind of a pursuit leading up to the conflict here. And so I thought if I could have the prince coming this way, I could have the jester countering this way, and Cinderella countering this direction as he crosses.
So what kind of shape are you making? You can kind of see it on your perspective.
Yeah, circular, yep.
So you're seeing how that's kind of natural.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we had more obstacles, you might be able to get a figure eight or different kinds of shapes in there.
Mm-hmm.
This set lends itself to a circle.
I was thinking if we had a couch that was sturdy, I could even during the next scene have them on top of the couch, on top of the
Oh yeah. That's something I was told when I was working at professional theater is, if it can't support weight, why'd you build it? And Dinah, how'd yours look?
Well, I started right up here where they were talking about the stepmother not wanting to see her face. And I started with the jester telling him right here, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no. And he's like, well, her stepmother made her promise not to let anyone see her face. And the prince was going to walk this way and say, that's a strange promise. And so I was going to go, oh, she's a strange stepmother. And that's all I had got.
And you know, part of the reason that's so clever is because you have a power play going on already. Right here, the jester can be upstage of the prince. There's nothing wrong with that. Why would the prince look back at the jester? He's of a more powerful nature. And then you have the jester back here like da-da-da-da. But then he's trying to get on the same level as him, but the prince won't let it happen. So power plays are really interesting to use during directing as well. Okay, so let me show you where this lesson would go thereafter. I would hand out this, which is from Robin Hood. Are you guys noticing a theme here?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
These are all children's shows that might get done this spring for the children's show.
Oh, really?
Beautiful.
Yes.
Can we audition?
I would love if everybody auditioned. I need as many people as I can get. Honestly though, if you're, please audition. Okay, so the purpose of this scene, if you read through it, you would see that there are more than 3 characters. So far we've only dealt with 3 characters. What do you do when you end up with, say, 8 or 9 characters? Beginning of this scene, you'll notice that he's talking about his merry, merry men. Uh-oh. And this is a problem that you typically will find in musicals as well, when you have large casts. Now, one situation is Robin Hood can be up here, talking to his merry men without looking at his merry men. You don't have to look at the other characters on stage. So there's a certain level of probable disbelief. Okay, now that could work. Another thing you could do is you could even put Robin Hood up here and have them all looking back. Maybe sitting on a bench, maybe looking at him. Can you guys think of any other solutions for ways we could separate them on stage and still make a pretty picture?
You could have some of them be over here,
Okay.
and then some be over here.
Yep.
What's this, guys?
And something I would just slightly suggest is maybe moving this guy out here. He wants to be seen by the audience too.
Yep. And this guy.
Exactly. And maybe this guy, since he's already low, we can put him below here. You can still see their faces. This is part of how this is so similar to dance. One of the big things in dance is everybody's faces need to be seen. Did you guys come up with any ideas of how this was similar to dance or TV?
I just got to say yes. I ran out of time.
I did too. I just said yes, but I think the same thing, that you in dance, you want it to be beautiful for the audience, and so the director does the same thing. Same within a film, you have to make it beautiful in whatever the camera captures, so.
Well, and that's good that you guys didn't have enough time. The idea of the bell work is to get you thinking, and that shows that you were actually interested in thinking about this topic. All right. So, next time, we'll look at doing more characters. Or at least think about it.
Okay. I'm writing now.
Why would you you guys able to write at the same time?
I had too many dinosaurs to play with.
That's right. Please record. Please have recorded. Please have recorded.